somehow, I'm not sure how this is exactly, I've developed a bit of a reputation for teaching about the weird stuff in Judaism. I don't know how this happened. It was not, I didn't set out to do this. It just kind of happened. Because I teach about, demons and Jewish astrology and Jewish dream interpretation and amulets and all the weird stuff. I just think it's interesting, really. So it's not unreasonable that I think a year or two ago, someone came to me and said, "Oh, Rabbi, is there anything Jewish about crystals?" Because crystals are like really hot now, like especially kids, younger people love crystals, obsessed crystals. And I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Definitely not. That's not something we do. We don't, no. Turns out, I was wrong. Because I thought afterwards, I was like, I should really do a little research and just to check and see, because maybe I don't want to be saying flat no, absolutely not, and then be wrong. And it turns out I was wrong, because there is some stuff to be said about Judaism and crystals, as much as it galls me to say that, because I don't like the idea of crystals and all the weight people put into them. But there is something Jewish about it, and that I like. So I thought, well, why not pass that knowledge on? And it comes up this week in the Parsha because we have some magic stones in the Parsha as well, the Urim and the Tumim. So I thought, why not take this opportunity to not just only have to write one sermon for this Shabbat, which I did, but to, instead of giving a sermon this Shabbat morning, to teach you about Judaism and magic stones, crystals. And now you'll know, when anyone asks you, what's Jewish about crystals? And you'll know they are Jewish. Turns out the rabbi's wrong. So who's going to help me? Gabaim, hey, you guys got me. And you're just going to have to make friends, so sure. So we'll start with the Urim and the Tumim first, and then we'll go to the whole big long list of Jewish crystals and what they all mean and all the different powers and abilities. You'll know which ones you want to go out and buy, because it takes all kinds. So when you get this packet, we're going to do it a little bit backwards, and you're going to open it up to the picture, because there's a picture. It's color. We're very fancy here at Beth Yeshurun. Remember, there are people who also sit on this side, all the way over here. Are there any over there? Can we give any to the people over here? Thank you. Like there's kids. We want them to like being Jewish. Give them something. I'll also be reading it out loud, so don't you worry. Why do we even talk about, when would we ever talk about Judaism, what's Jewish about crystals and stones? It's going to come up with the Kohanim, the Kohen Gadol, because our Kohanim, our priests, they have accessories. They love accessories. So they get the nice outfits, the nice hats, the nice shoes, everything so nice, and they get the nice jewelry. Specifically, this week in the Parsha, we're talking about the Urim and the Tumim, which they wear up top. And if you flip to the very back of your page, you'll see the lines from this actual week's Parsha. It says, "And you shall put in the breastplate of judgment to the Urim and the Tumim, and they shall be upon Aaron's heart when he goes in before Adonai, and Aaron shall bear the judgment of the children of Israel upon his heart before Adonai continually." So we have this Urim and this Tumim. And they are clearly some kind of conduit between Aaron and God, and Aaron is a conduit between God and the people of Israel. So there's a lot of layers, God, Aaron, the people, and these Urim and Tumim kind of serve as a way of kind of accessing divine intelligence or wisdom or what we're supposed to be doing. You have these Urim and Tumim to help you make decisions, basically. And the second source says, "And Joshua shall stand before Eleazar the priest, who shall ask counsel for him after the judgment of the Urim before God. By this word shall they go out, by this word shall they come in, both he and all the children of Israel with him." So from this we can gather that in Jewish tradition, there's this idea that we have these stones, this Urim and this Tumim, that the priest wears, that help him know what to do, help him know what God wants him to do. So there's an idea that stones, precious stones, crystals, if you will, can help you access intelligence, wisdom. That's one thing. You look underneath, we have another little special stone that exists, Abraham's healing stone. Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai says, a precious stone hung around the neck of Abraham, our forefather. Any sick person who looked at it would immediately be healed. When Abraham, our forefather, died, the Holy Blessed One hung this stone from the sphere of the sun, which from that point on brought healing to the sick. So this is very different. This is not the Urim and the Tumim that help you know what God wants you to do. This is healing. This is a stone that apparently Avraham Avinu had on his body, so we know it, we have to wear it. And if you look at the stone, you don't touch it, you just look at it, you get healed. That's kind of nice, right? Saves you a lot of doctor bills and paying off your deductible. So that's cool. So stones can heal you. Stones can help you know what you're supposed to do next, help you make good decisions. But the biggest, if I was going to say, where do precious stones, where do gems come up in the Torah? What might you think? Because we have a whole laundry list of precious stones in the Torah. The breastplate of Aaron. If you look at the picture, it's hard to see because it's all kind of very colorful, but he's got all these stones on this big plate he wears right here. And they're all different and they're all beautiful. And it turns out they all have powers. So if you look at the very front of your packet, the Torah tells us, this is in the Torah. And you shall set it with 4 rows of mounted stones. The first row, a ruby, an emerald, and a topaz. The second row, a carbuncle, a sapphire, and a quartz crystal. The third row, a jacinth, an agate, and an amethyst. The fourth row, a chrysolite, an onyx, and an opal. These stones shall be placed in gold settings. The stones shall contain the names of the 12 children of Israel, the tribes. One for each of the 12 stones. Each one's name shall be engraved as on a signet ring to represent the 12 tribes. So Aaron carries on his body this gold plate, breastplate, and it has 12 stones. One stone, each inscribed with the name of a tribe, Gad and Asher and Manasseh and all these different tribes. Each of them has their own stone. And as it turns out, according to Sefer HaGematriot, much later, admittedly, each of those stones has its own special powers and abilities. When I taught this in Kehila High, I actually got these stones, not like the expensive versions of them, and I let all the kids pick out the ones that they wanted specifically, which powers they would like. They were big fans, because I told you, Gen Z kids apparently like crystals, and millennials. I don't get it. Some things I don't understand about my generation, that's one of them. So you turn over, I have a whole list here of all the different powers that Jewish text says crystals have. This is the text where I knew when someone asked me, what's Jewish about crystals? And I said nothing. This is how I knew I was wrong. So it galls me to teach this, but it's true. It's here. According to the Sefer HaGematriot, Reuben's ruby assists with fertility and the prevention of miscarriage. That's reasonable. That's cool. Simeon's jade, or topaz, depending how you translate it, apparently cools the body. That would have been very helpful last week. I could have used some jade for the past month, these 100 degrees. Levi's agate rejuvenates the body, sharpens the eyes, and increases wisdom. This is a departure. This isn't about anything physical. This is more, mental, intellectual. So if you want to increase your wisdom, get an agate. Judah's carbuncle gives the wearer bravery and protection in battle. You got a big presentation coming up? Get a carbuncle. Issachar's sapphire, or lapis, provides understanding and medicinal intuition. So if you're a doctor, get a sapphire. Zvulun's quartz crystal encourages successful trade and helps the wearer sleep peacefully. Maybe you're sleeping peacefully because you've been very successful in your trade, I don't know. Dan's turquoise allows one to see another's true intentions. I could use some turquoise. That would be a helpful ability to be able to see someone else's true intentions. Naphtali has an amethyst, and Naphtali's amethyst helps to ground and balance a person. I think we could all use a little amethyst, right? A little balance, that'd be nice. God has an agate as well. I don't know why it's translated the same. But God's agate provides bravery and valor in battle. I don't think I need so much of that myself personally. Maybe it's more intellectual battle rather than physical. Asher's beryl helps speed up one's metabolism. So, everyone's using Ozempic now, but you don't need Ozempic because Asher's barrel will do it just the same. We were doing it first. Joseph's onyx helps one win friends and influence people, just like the book says. But you don't need a book, because if you're Jewish, you could use an onyx, apparently, and it does the same thing. And finally, Benjamin's the opal, and Benjamin's opal helps one keep secrets and confidences. I think it's interesting that it's phrased like that. It's not that it helps you, like, learn them or helps people tell them to you. It helps you keep them. So if you're kind of more of a loose lips kind of a person, just can't keep secrets, opal can help you just keep your mouth shut. So, usually the follow-up question I get when I teach about anything of the weird stuff I teach, and especially with crystals, is, but is it real? Does it work? I never really make it my business to figure, does it work or is it real? I think it's fascinating that as Jews, this is not something I ever would have thought we would have anything to do with. The Sefer Gematria, it's not like a recent text. This is a pretty old text. And clearly as Jews, we've been thinking about this for a while. And we've had this opportunity in the Torah. The Torah lays out 12 different stones. Each stone stands for a different tribe. And it made sense that along the way, someone looked at and said, there must be meaning, there must be value, there must be weight in this, and outlined it. And everything on here speaks to some kind of anxiety that people have about, knowing what other people are thinking, or being safe, or healing yourself. There's something very human about everything that I teach, all the weird stuff, and especially about crystals. There's something very human about the needs that it's trying to fulfill, and whether it's real or not, I don't really think about, but I love how human and realistic it is. We all have these kinds of stresses, and it's another way of dealing with it. So if it helps you to get an opal to keep secrets, or a carbuncle makes you feel brave, or jade makes you feel cool, use this as an excuse. Say the rabbi said you need to go out and buy jewelry. Blame me. You keep these, you can give them back, whatever you want. I stole them all at the chapel, and they're kind of mad, so if you don't want them, I'll give them back to the chapel. You can take your Siddur now and turn to